Today I'm going to be talking to you about the impacts of linguistics teaching strategies by Vanessa Birch. So, the three topics that I chose to talk about are phonology, orthography and spelling, and pragmatics. So, to start off, I'm going to be talking about phonology. According to Reading, Writing, and Learning in ESL by Suzanne Pierogi and Owen Boyle, phonology is how languages convey meaning by the systematic and coordinated use of rules governing sounds, including intonation, pitch, and juncture. So I'm not a practicing teacher, but a way that I would incorporate this in my future classroom is wordplay with rhyming. This is something I've actually seen in one of my practicums. Currently, I'm in a third grade classroom, and I was actually doing these games one-on-one with the student, the matching game. So how the matching game would work is you could have, the way my teacher had it, she made her own. It was 4x4, and it was 16 cards, and there was 8 pairs of matching words, and you'd flip them over and you'd have to look at the card, read the word, and say it out loud and see if they would match. If it was a match, then you would take the pair and you'd continue playing the game. This is a really great game because you can do so many different versions with it and change the words depending on the level that your ELL student is at. Another way I would incorporate this in my classroom is through rhyming with books, poems, and songs. Over to the right, you can see the picture of the song 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe. This is a really common song that we all probably know. However, not all of our ELLs might know the song, but it's a really, really great example to show how the endings of the words rhyme. And lastly, something that I learned from our text is rhyming through total physical response, known as TPR. I really, really loved this idea. Basically, how it works is I could have a bunch of set of 2 different words. For example, cat and bat. I'd have all my students sit at their seats, sitting down, and I would say cat, hat. And I would tell the students, if they rhyme, if you think they rhyme, stand up. If you don't, stay sitting. Then you could also have words that don't rhyme. So you could say cat and tree. Those 2 words obviously don't rhyme, therefore nobody should be standing up. And this is just a really, really fun game, and it's also a really great way for students to get their energy out. So this would hit speaking, listening, and reading. It would hit speaking because they have to, if they're playing the matching game, they would say the words out loud. Listening because they are specifically listening for the ending of the word to rhyme. And they are reading, for example, if we were going to be doing the poem, book, or a song, they would be reading these words. So it hits 3 of those, which is really great. The next topic I chose to talk about is orthography and spelling. So this is defined from our Essential Linguistics book by David and Yvonne Freeman, a general term that includes aspects of writing, including the spelling, punctuation, spacing, and special features such as boldface or italics. So a way I would incorporate this into my future classroom would be through a great game called Word Cabal. So this sounds a lot like basketball, which is basically basketball but incorporating words. So you could take your students down to the gym. For example, maybe something how I would do this is maybe on Fridays. We could always do Friday Word Cabal. You could take your class on a free period that the gym would be empty. You could split your class into 2 teams, and basically what you would do is you would have a list of new words each week, and so throughout the week, the students would be practicing these words, become familiar with these words, and that way by Friday, it will really test their knowledge on these words. Something that's really important is that I know a lot of families and community members are really concerned about their students' spelling, but we definitely want to make sure that you focus on spelling, but they're also not only like memorizing that, they understand the word itself. So that way, not only would I be having the students spell the word in this game, but also use it in a sentence. So I could give them, maybe the word of the week was believe. They would have to, each team would get together and figure out how to work together to spell believe, and then they would have to use it in a sentence. So if the team got it right, they would get a chance to throw it into the basketball hoop and score a point for their team. And that's just a really fun way, also another great way for students to get their energy out. Another way to practice spelling would be through investigating consonants and discovering different words. So here I incorporated 2 different pictures of games or worksheets that you could do. So the first one is a family worksheet, so family member missing letters worksheet. So you'd have a picture, great for ELLs to see, pointing at who they're talking about. So the first one is pointing to the mother. In this case, the O is missing. And there's all different scenarios, tons of different worksheets and themes that you could work with. And they would just have to fill in the missing letters and then write out the full letter on their own. Another way is through letter K word search. So you can find really word searches for any letter of the alphabet. So this one I just chose letter K, kangaroo, karate, ketchup, kick, king, all these really great words, and they would have to find the word and circle it in the word search. Again, this is really fun and a way to incorporate maybe group or partner work, which is also really great for ELLs. So this would incorporate speaking, listening, and writing. Lastly, the third topic I chose to talk about is pragmatics. I would use pragmatics through role play. So during week 7, we read the American Speech Language Hearing Association article, and it defines that pragmatics are rules that we follow when we talk and how and when you should talk to people. So this is something that's really important because you want to teach your classroom, the social norms, especially for ELLs who may not be familiar with this, what's a casual way to talk to your friend versus a professional way to talk to your principal. So a way we could do this is through scenario cards. I could read these scenario cards to my class, such as different topics like cooperation, trust, loyalty, caring, responsibility, and courageous. I could read to the class example of the caring one. Only 6 people were needed for a play, and all of your friends but one got a part. How would you, boys and girls, act towards the one friend that didn't get a part? They could practice on each other and do different scenarios, and it would be really fun and really helpful for these students. Another way is through conversation bingo. Conversation bingo is really, really awesome because what I would do is I would say out one of these. For example, ask a friend to play at recess. Before they put their chip down, they would have to give an example of how they would ask a friend to play at recess, or ask a friend about their day, and so on. This is just a really, really great way for them to practice the social norms in different situations. So this hits listening and speaking. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you.